Okay, hey, welcome to Old Ass Movie Reviews. We've got a really bizarre episode today for you. I like to call it, What You Watching, Dave?
What you talking about, Willis? I'm watching something that I never thought I was going to watch, but after talking to you, I decided to go ahead and plop down a couple of bucks and for a month, and I rented Paramount Plus. I got the Paramount Plus channel, and I'm watching Picard. So what you watching?
Oh man, I watched a lot of things. I just finished The Last of Us, which is, I will tell those of you out there who are into video games, this is the most faithful adaptation I have ever seen. It is so successful. There's a reason that more people have watched this show than anything else on HBO ever. It's that good. So it's great TV. I don't know if it's obviously it's not just because I played the game and I liked it, because lots of people are watching this that haven't played the game. So that's one of the things I have been watching. One of the things, let's talk about Picard though, and then I'll tell you something that a little gem I found.
I'll tell you the other thing before you tell me your other thing was the we both started we decided what my dog is behind me.
It's okay. She's tearing space and time. It's awesome. Dogs can do that.
Hey, Dad. Anyway, crazy. She's a good girl.
Of course.
We started binging also Deep Space Nine again, which is next to the original series. Deep Space Nine is my favorite series.
I need to watch it. I've never watched it.
I started watching Voyager with her. I think I'm probably just going to wind up buying the series of Voyager.
Voyager, I love, but I have my issues with Voyager. I just have to share this real quick. Janeway is my favorite captain.
Really?
Bottom line, I would follow that woman right into hell. And that's probably where she would take you. Because that's what she does. God bless her and her cup of coffee. But I don't know what it is, but it seemed like every episode Janeway's like, we're under attack. I'm going to destroy the Voyager and kill the crew. Back off. She had a suicide vest on the entire series. And she finally gets to do it at one point. She does blow up the whole crew. So now you're dealing with Ensign Kim, who is from another damn dimension because Janeway killed everybody. Anyway.
I can hardly wait to get to that episode.
Oh, it's actually really good. If you want a good Borg storyline, you're going to get the Borg in spades with Voyager. So
7 of 9.
7 of 9, the Queen, big time. So
okay, let's get speaking of 7 of 9. Let's get into Picard. The first
season
series.
I got to ask you something.
Okay, go ahead.
So one of the things that got me when I watched this, and it's something that you've mentioned to me, was the language. It threw me for a loop in the very first episode to hear F-bombs. I was like, what? Because we're not used to hearing that. But that's how people would have talked. But that I get it if you don't like it.
For as much as I drop the F-bomb, I have and I do drop the F-bomb.
It's just a bit.
If you folks haven't noticed, if anybody's new here, I drop the F-bomb a lot. But for me, if you set up, I'm trying not to use it.
You can.
If you set up a universe and your rules are, even because it was set back in the 60s, you set up the rules, no F-bombs, no Jesus Christs, no mother effing this and you see sucker that, Now, if you set it up to where that's not part of the normal language, you don't use that language. Which is, you and I had talked about one of the reasons I didn't like the spin-off for Doctor Who, the one that you really liked. Everybody was sleeping with everybody. Everybody's dropping the F.
Torchwood. Torchwood, yeah. Yeah, I like Torchwood.
If they would have kept Torchwood PG, more Doctor Who-esque, which is, you have a universe. I realize it's on Earth. I realize it's Earth-based. But you've set up the rules to the universe for 50 years. You should have followed them. That's what dropped me out of Torchwood. I like Torchwood. I wanted to like Torchwood a lot,
I get the
but I
argument.
think I dropped
that.
out. I think I dropped out after the 4th or 5th episode. I was just like, I can't. There's not one likable person here.
Yeah.
They're all sleeping with each other and they're all a bunch of drunk idiots.
Yeah, so you know what? I think they were trying to be edgy and it showed. It was heavy-handed. It was very heavy-handed. I recommend if you're going to go watch Yeah, if you're going to watch Torchwood, watch I think it's the 3rd season, which is called Children of Men. It's or Children of Earth. It's 4 episodes and it's a mini movie and it is wonderful. It is really good TV. But yeah, the series is just no, I'm with you on that. And you know what? And I do get what you're saying. It's like when South Park went uncensored. All of a sudden it's not bleeped out.
Yeah.
It's like also when Howard Stern went to Sirius XM. I used to listen to him on terrestrial radio. I felt he was much funnier on terrestrial radio when he had to be creative in how he got around things.
Yeah. Because he had guides. He had boundaries,
and he could cross
that can
those.
Make you funnier.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you take boundaries away, you're just not funny. Look at how many comedians F-bomb and stuff. They're not funny. So bringing this back into Picard, they had a universe set up. They had rules, and the first thing these idiot writers did, in my opinion, the minute they had the first chance they had to drop the F-bomb, they dropped.
It dropped early.
Yeah, and I just sat there and I thought to myself, they're going to do this a lot, and they did. They do it a lot in
they pull back
series,
and
I don't like it. I don't like it. that really bugs me. Now again, I've never seen a John Wick movie, but I imagine the F-bombs dropped a lot in that.
Yeah,
that's that universe. That universe is set up to drop the F-bomb.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
What else? There's something else. Oh, we were just talking about this. I liked the first season. I really didn't expect to. I was really expecting.
I wasn't sure where you were going to fall on it.
I was really expecting not to like it. I was really like, this is going to suck. Why am I watching this? Because Scott said it was good, and he's the only guy that said that this is good. So I'll check it out. Everybody else I've heard and read, everybody says it's terrible. Oh my God. And I'm watching. I'm like, I don't know what these people were watching. I have my problems with it.
Yeah,
it's
of course.
And it's used, and it's really dinky stuff, like the swearing. There's no reason for it. Patrick Stewart is looking old in this.
That's why we're only getting 3 seasons. He is in his 80s.
There's a couple of moves that he made in this that I'm just like, oh, Patrick, are you okay?
I know.
But there is the fact that it's all just one big story arc. And that this is what's bothering me for the first series. I think it's going to bother me in the second series too.
It is. The second series is a time travel multiverse. Things that happened in the first episode don't get explained to the last episode because the things in the first episode couldn't have happened without events in the last episode.
Right.
You know where I'm going.
You can already see that coming. The fact that it's not its own separate episodes, like in the original series, like in Voyager, like in Deep Space Nine, like in every other freaking successful.
Strange New Worlds does it too with these individuals.
Strange New Worlds does separate episodes, which I'm really looking forward to watching that.
I love it. I have such a love for that series. It's wow.
I want to see if they're gonna kitty cat corner off and do the Pike from the movies, or if they're gonna keep it original and kill Pike, or have Pike get into his accident.
I will talk real quick about this since it's only been one season. And Pike originally showed up on Discovery, and then they spun it off, and they considered this the 80-year pickup after the episode The Cage. Star Trek finally got its Pike series that it debuted as the first pilot episode. This is a continuation of it. He knows he's going to die. He's had the visions. He's seen it. He knows he only has a short amount of time, and it's crucial to his character and the things that Pike has to deal with, because he knows the people that are going to die. He sees their names and how it affects him and everything. It's really good. It's just I'm just blown away by the show.
Okay, I'm looking forward to watching Pike's series. Now I forgot the name of it.
Strange New Worlds. But
Strange
what
New Worlds.
Janine and I did, we watched The Cage first, and
the original pilot.
The original pilot we watched, and then started watching Strange New Worlds because it all goes together. And
really?
I think if you don't watch The Cage, you can watch. I think it's the Menagerie 1 and 2.
Yeah, the Menagerie.
The Menagerie part 1 and 2, which is just going to basically show the cage in the background. They edited the whole thing in there, but I like watching the Pike one, and then you get a whole feel for it for the crew and everything. Good. So,
and it's really good, folks. If you haven't seen the original pilot, watch
it's wild.
It's worth.
It's good. It's
really
good.
Jesus was Captain Pike.
Yeah,
he played Jesus. I can't remember his name right now.
I'm drawing a blank, but yeah.
But it's a good show.
Yeah. So
but okay, that's.
I'm sorry, we just went off on a Star Trek tangent. It'll happen.
But it's Star Trek, so I'm in that universe now. The alien, the spoilers. These are all spoilers coming your way, folks. If you haven't watched Picard, stop now. The fact that Doge, which is the first android chick who shows up, I dug her character. Mm-hmm. I liked that character. I loved that girl. She was confused. She didn't know it was blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, boom, she's dead. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. I'm in my universe. I've written my universe to be this. Yeah. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. And I knew there was going to be another her because I'd seen like little clips here and there. So I knew that girl was dead, and she probably had another robot sister or something. Mm-hmm. Turns out she has another robot sister.
There's so I'm watching this, and
I'm like, I don't like this robot sister. I like the other robot sister better.
Right? I got you.
I like the character that the exact same actress. It was the exact same freaking actress was playing this other character who was trying to get a little bit of Doge in there, but Soji didn't have quite that. And I'm just like watching it going, I like the other one better. I like the other sister better. Okay, but that's a minor thing. That was me. I'm going to fast forward because there is so much to like about the series. Mm-hmm. I initially didn't like the captain of the little ship that he gets on with.
Reyes?
Rosario? No, Riz I liked right off the bat.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why, but I did. Rosario? The Spanish guy.
I thought it was Reyes.
He gets on the little... Reyes.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said. I thought you were talking about the skinny little girl that.
No, the dude who's flying the ship. Yeah.
Raish, is that her name? Raish.
Rafi.
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 That's it. Okay, I was getting mixed up. Anyway, the one thing about the captain of that ship is he's not just the captain of that ship. He plays all of the hologrammatic figures in the series that are on that ship.
Yeah.
Because he scanned himself when he bought the ship, and he's the engineer, he's the doctor, he's the...
he made a lot of holograms. It's great.
He made a bunch of holograms just basically to keep himself company. And I'm just like, okay, that's weird, but that's funny. And each one of those holograms is a completely different character. Mm-hmm. So you have the guy who's playing the captain, which I don't really care for that character all that much.
Yeah.
But I liked all the characters that he played. You know what I mean? Like the one guy who just the hologrammatic figure that's the what do they call it when you're in charge of all the games and stuff like that aboard a spaceship?
Concierge?
Like the concierge guy. He's getting like uncomfortably close to everybody he talks to because he's really friendly. And at one point, he's getting really close to one girl, and she's backing away. He just keeps getting closer. She finally like pulls a chair or something between her and him, and I'm just laughing like, "Oh my god, that's funny. That's a funny touch." But anyway, I liked all of his little sidekicks. I liked everybody up to that. You fast forward towards the end, you meet Sung, who's the son of the guy who created Data. He's on another planet. They find all the androids. Romulans are coming to kill everybody. They finally are like getting ready to save everybody, and Picard dies. And I'm sitting there watching this, and I already knew what was going to happen. I'm like, I know he's not dead.
The foreshadowing is strong in this. You could see this coming a mile away.
But I'm looking at this going, okay, they've got this android body, or not the it's not even an android body so much as it's just a replica of Sung. Mm-hmm. So shouldn't he have looked like Sung when he was brought out of it? Okay, we're not going to talk about that because that's too complicated.
Yeah.
The thing that would have saved this for me, because right now he's robot Picard, for lack of a better term, running around in the second series.
Robot Picard who still has an expiration date, which is weird to me. Why'd you even bother? Why'd you bother?
Well, you're going to live the exact same amount of time. And he just looks at him like, really?
You give me a positronic body and here we are. Okay, great.
But my point, my whole dislike for this is the fact that now he's in a robot body with no more time than he had before.
Yeah.
But there is an easy fix for that. They didn't need to do that. They needed to take the body to the Borg cube. 7 of 9, hook up one more time. Bum. You know, we're gonna get you. What do they call it? We're gonna assimilate. She goes in to assimilate him. She plugs up a couple of things into him, and she shoots in the micro machines. Not micro machines. That's not right. Nanobots.
Nanobots. Yeah.
You pull out. You let the nanobots do the repair. Boom. He's back to life. He's Picard. He's a little bit healthier, but he's so old. You can't save him. Okay, he's just going to live.
However, think of the danger of hooking Locutus of Borg back into possibly the collective.
But that would have been the perfect thing, because he would now this is where I'm coming from this, because he had 3 freaking Borgs already say Locutus, and he's turning around like, hi, not me.
You know.
That would have made a much more interesting story, because now all of a sudden he's in the second series. He's starting to hear voices again.
You're gonna dig the second series because it is so Borg heavy.
Q does what he does, and all of a sudden he's face to face with the fucking Borg Queen again, and he's hearing all the voices. That would have been a better storyline for me.
All I'm going to say, it's almost like you've watched part of the second series, the second season, because
I've only watched like the first episode.
Yeah. Well, so you're good. The Borg Queen is coming. It's nuts, man. It's Borg heavy. It's good.
But here you go. Wouldn't have that made better sense? Well, I haven't seen it up to where he's meta. So wouldn't it have made more sense for him to have nanobots in him that he had?
It would have. It would have.
He can start hearing the Borg voices again. He can communicate a little bit better, but he's still Picard. He's still got only a certain amount of age left, because the nanobots can only rebuild you so much.
Yeah. One of the things, and I'm going to spoil just a little bit for folks, if you haven't started watching season 3, this is a light spoiler. The fact of Picard, Jean-Luc's past with the Borg weighs heavy on the way he is treated by other people in Starfleet who lost loved ones due to him being the Borg. So that he finally explored that not everybody's going to like Jean-Luc Picard, because they know what he did on that cube. So it's really good.
Remember that in Deep Space Nine, whenever he's the very first episode or first 2 episodes of Deep Space Nine, Cisco hates Picard. Cisco, because his wife got
I haven't seen it. Is that related to the Borg then?
Yeah, like the very first episode, Cisco's lost his wife.
Oh no!
And it was because of Locutus of Borg.
Okay, so he's like Locutus left a lot of dead people in his wake.
Yeah, so that actually fits really well for the 3rd season then.
Good,
because they haven't just pissed it away and went, oh
no,
everybody loves Picard.
No,
I'm surprised somebody didn't kill that guy. I do want to see what happens with him and the Romulan woman.
Oh yeah, she's a good character.
It looks like in the first episode, her husband's dead. Yeah. I'm guessing her husband's dead, or her boyfriend died, or whatever.
I'm not going to tell you who she is, but you'll find out in the second season.
I have a really good idea of what's going on there, but I'm not positive. So I won't spoil it for myself either yet. I did like. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What?
I was going to say, one of the neat parts when you get into season 2 is I really enjoyed the casting of a young Guinan. It's really, I thought it was really well done. What a
Cool.
neat way to show the character's powers. So it's pretty
Okay,
cool.
I knew she was going to show up. My dog is just tearing apart the fabric of my life.
Yeah.
For anybody who's just listening and can't hear it, my background's all going black. It's getting
It's
ripped.
all good.
My dog's just walking around behind me like, I don't care. I want to be petted on my
Yeah.
belly.
Yeah. So I'm glad you're enjoying it, man. It's
I did not expect to. I'm glad you talked me. You didn't really
I'm glad
talk
you
me
watched
into
it.
it, but you did the thing that I've done to other people. Like, how can you criticize anything without watching it?
And I'm guilty. We're
So
all
I'm glad I
guilty.
watched it because it's not nearly as bad as I had heard. I mean, I heard people were
Well,
just like, "This is so blah 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 blah,"
those are
fill in the
miserable
blank what it
people.
was.
Those are miserable people.
I'm like, this is actually pretty good. I mean, did they need the Picard story?
No,
No.
no,
Am I
no. But we
glad I
needed
watched it?
Trek.
Yeah, because it's pretty good. It
Here's
was
one of the
good.
things
Good.
I want to say, and I've heard some of the writers and showrunners talk about this and say this, and I agree completely. Here's the thing with Star Trek: the universe is so huge. There are so many shows. You will find one you like, and that's okay if you don't like them all. You don't have to.
So far, I've liked all of them. Voyager was the hardest one for me to start to
Mhm.
like because coming in, and Kat disagrees with me completely, and I understand why anybody might, but I always felt like Janeway just knew everything. Like that first season, like when I watched Janeway, you could have taken away half of her crew and she would have been fine. As long as people followed her orders, everything would have been fine. And I think for me, it felt like maybe the second season or late into the first season, she started asking advice like Kirk used to,
I think
like
I think
Cisco used.
I think they were trying to find her character, and she was trying to find her inner captain, and the writers were
Yeah,
trying to find that because
yeah.
she does soften, but I still consider Janeway to be wearing a suicide vest the entire series.
She probably was. Yeah, I can hardly wait to watch that whole series because it looks
It
really,
ends
really good.
wonderfully. The ending is great. Guess what? With the Borg, my favorite Star Trek
Yeah,
villains.
yeah, they are a good villain. My
Yeah.
favorite's the Klingons. Even today,
Yeah.
even when they were buddies, I was like, I need a good Klingon. I mean, I came up with I think I told you the Klingon story I came up with years ago.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it one day, I'm sure. But it's like I just love the Klingons. I think they
Yeah.
are great
They absolutely
character.
are. They absolutely are. You're going to love Worf when we get to Picard season 3.
Season
It's
3.
a nice change. It's so odd to see. One of the things I do want to mention, I have met most of the Next Generation crew cast.
Really?
Yes. Patrick Stewart happened to cancel at the time that I went, so I really didn't get to talk to him. But
Right.
I have had some wonderful conversations with these people, and they have just been some of the kindest, wonderful actors who adore their fans, and it's always been a pleasure. I can't
Right.
tell you a single Star Trek person that I've talked to that hasn't. And here's the thing: we don't talk Star Trek. It's amazing.
No.
Talked to John Delancey about bronies, My Little Pony.
Yeah. Yeah.
Marina Sirtis, we talked football. Jonathan Frakes about husband's inability to pick up clothes.
Right.
Brent Spiner, we talked about dinner with family and stuff. So it's really neat. They LeVar Burton. I can't remember what we talked about, and it wasn't Roots.
Reading Rainbow.
Reading Rainbow.
What else you got to talk to LeVar Burton about?
Well, here's the thing: Michael Dorn too, Robert Picardo. God,
Robert Picardo would be a fun guy to talk to.
Yeah, he was a neat. Walter Koenig was really nice, but I think one of my favorite people to actually talk to was Nichelle Nichols. And
really,
yeah, she was so kind, and it just had great energy, and it's like I felt like I was in the presence of a legend. And well, you pretty much are.
I was going to say you were in the presence of a legend.
And the thing is, when William Shatner, I've talked to a couple times, people say he's a complete jerk. He was nothing but kind to me. So that's all I can say about that.
That line leads me to one thing about an actress that I'm starting to, I don't want to say I like her acting because I don't think she's a great actress, but I think she's been misinterpreted a lot like Shatner. Shatner is always like, he's such an asshole, he's this, he's that. But when you talk to people who actually like him, they're like, no, he's just got a sense of humor. He likes to fuck with people. Like I do, like you do. Like, you know, that's why we get along. Everybody around us might think we're both fucking assholes. I don't know. I don't care.
Well, we can be, yeah.
But I've watched Brie Larson. I've been watching stuff on Brie Larson, and everybody's always like, Brie Larson's this, Brie Larson's that. She's make up whatever you want to say about her. You know, I don't think she's a great actress. Mm-hmm. I think Captain Marvel might not have been the best role for her, but whatever.
It's not bad. I didn't hate the movie.
It's not a horrible movie. I didn't hate it. It just they made it seem like it was going to be much more, and I think they tried to put a lot of blame on her. It's like she's not the one who said this is the greatest Marvel movie ever. She said she's playing Captain Marvel. But anyway, my point of like somebody going, oh, they're this or they're that. I was watching some interviews with Brie Larson. I was watching her interaction with some of the other stars. And a lot of the stuff that people were saying were words that she said. Mm-hmm. But I honestly think they were all being misinterpreted as something else.
Because it makes clickbait. It gets people worked up. I know the comments that you're some of them that you're referring to.
And I think the actors that are with her that have given her grief are actors that have no sense of humor. Yeah. Like George Takei does not have a sense of humor.
No, I don't think he does.
He hated Bill Shatner.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's like always like, oh, he's a great guy. No, he's an idiot. But that's just my opinion. I've read his book. I know where he's coming from. But then again, that's my opinion. I think she's been misinterpreted. I've watched her and I started chuckling at a lot of the stuff that she would say. And I'm like, she's funny. And I looked at the old lady the other day. I said, I think if we met her and just hung out and went out to dinner, said we'd probably be laughing our asses off because she's dry. She'll say something with a straight face. You know how you and I used to do that to people and they just look at us like, I don't know whether you're kidding or not.
That
and
happens to me on a daily basis.
Straight face, like, good, I don't want you to, and just walk away. Yeah. And they're just looking at you like, wow, was he being an asshole or was he?
Both.
I'm not sure whether I'm supposed to laugh or not. And we're dying. You and I are both like, fist bumping. That was funny. That was great.
Yeah.
You know? But I think that's her sense of humor is like very dry. And I think she's been misinterpreted. Mm. I could be completely wrong. But that's when I rewatch some of these interviews, I'm like, that's not what she's saying. Look at her eyes, man.
I have found, and I'm glad we have not fallen into the trap. I have found there is just a large vocal group of people that are just so damn miserable and they're not happy unless everybody else hates what they hate. It's, it's okay if you don't. Here's where I get worked up because I'll start reading comments of stuff that I've watched and everything, and it makes me scratch my head. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean the acting was bad. Just because you don't like the way the story went doesn't mean the story and the writers were bad and stupid. You just didn't like it. And you know what? It's okay to not like it. I mean,
you can still dislike it. There's a lot of stuff you and I have watched. Like, this is terrible.
But don't sit there and say that it was poorly written when it's clear that it's not. You may not like how it went.
I don't think either one of us liked that one, but it was like, But
it's
Picard, I was really expecting. It was beautifully shot.
It's a beautiful movie. Holy crap.
But with Picard, like the same thing. People said one thing. I mean, what I was seeing and what I was reading and what I was listening to, I'm like, holy crap, this guy, how did they get a second season? And then I watched the first season. I'm like, that's pretty good. I'm really into it. I loved the opening scene. Mm-hmm. The opening scene of the first episode. Yeah. With the ship floating and you're like, blue skies. Yeah. And I'm like, what the? And at first I'm like, what the fuck? They're singing again. God bless America. They're singing. Sons of bitches didn't get it right after, Enterprise. And then they come in closer. I'm like, oh, wait. No, somebody's listening to the radio. That's what it is. Okay, I can relax.
Yeah. It happens a lot.
You know what I mean?
One of the things that I'll tell people if you're into Star Trek and you're watching, I make a point after watching Picard or Strange New Worlds to go into the extras tab, and Will Wheaton has like an hour-long podcast of interviews with the people. Whatever you think about Will or not, it's neat to get the backstory and interviews with the people. It's really cool, and you get to see some neat stuff. I find it pretty cool. And say what you will about Will, he is such a huge fan. It's infectious. You know, he loves that he's a part of that universe, and he is not ashamed of it.
So, I loved him in Eureka.
I've never seen
watched the series Eureka. Oh God, there's just when he finally comes into the series in Eureka, he's just he's a good foil. Let me put it that way.
Cool.
And you're just like you love to hate the character that he plays.
He will appear in Picard season 2, by the way.
Yeah, I've seen a snippet of that. Mm-hmm. Because I watch Picard, of course, it's on everything that I open up on my apps now. It's like, oh no, nobody's spying on us, folks. No,
not at all.
We're not being spied on.
So you recommend those who are on the fence and heard a bunch of negative things to check out Picard? I do too.
The first season, especially. Second season, you were saying it might.
I enjoyed the second season. Don't get me wrong. There's some really cool stuff that happens in the second season. Really cool. And it's such a shame that Annie Wershing passed, who plays the Borg Queen in this, because she did such a hell of a job. But there's some really neat. If you love the Borg like I love the Borg, you got to watch the second season. That's.
I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I watched the first episode where it ends with Q showing up, and I was like, okay, I knew he showed up. I didn't know where or when, but
there's some really touching moments. John Delancey and Patrick Stewart have great screen chemistry. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And I think Q just loves to fuck with Jean-Luc.
Yeah.
But this time he's not there to fuck with Jean-Luc. Not what the way that he used to.
What I've heard, and I don't believe it because they're omnipotent, so who knows? You know what I mean? It's like, I was just with you. I'm still okay.
Don't know. I like to think that
it's hard to
that's
say.
it. Yeah. So, very cool. Very cool. I'm glad you gave it a shot, and tell our listeners, and I hold this with anything. And Dave and I have really softened on a lot of stuff that we review. I just like to hold the one thing: was I entertained? Did I enjoy it?
Oh yeah, folks, you'll definitely be entertained. There's a lot of fan stuff.
Oh yes, and it just keeps coming.
I almost think there's too much, but I'm a sucker for a fan nod.
It shows they really try. It does show that the producers and showrunners, and I forget which one it was, which showrunner had said, he made a comment that I am a huge Star Trek fan. I love it. And I know I can't please everybody, that not everybody's going to like what I like, but I'm a fan and I'm trying. And I appreciate that. And I get that.
I'm afraid to watch Discovery because of everything I've read. And then after talking to you, where you're just like, you're kind of like, I don't think so.
I love Discovery. I feel a special connection to the character Michael Burnham, who's Sonequa Green plays. I think she does something that's really cool, and I like it. I will say this about Discovery: it gave us the new Pike and the new Spock, and it really doesn't get really good until they make the jump 900 years into the future, and all of a sudden their tech makes sense, and now we're good. It took that show, had to get out of its timeline and go to the future to fix itself. It's good. It's good now, but it's also a heavy-handed show. They swing with a hammer on that.
It's not what I'm.
That's why I said it's polarizing.
But I will give it a shot. I will take a look at it.
You'll either love it or you'll hate it. I absolutely adore Discovery, and I hate that it's ending. But and that's what I wanted to say earlier. Star Trek is such a big tent that you're going to find a show you like, and you're going to find some you don't like. I have no desire to watch the animated stuff, the Lower Decks, the Prodigy.
No, I
don't have any desire to, but people love them. So, hey, you can have that. We're still in the same family. We're still in the same, if all you ever like is the original series, guess what? You're still a Trekkie. You don't have to like it all.
You like it or not. Yeah, I love the original series. That's still,
absolutely,
that's the one. That's the one to
Absolutely. I
go
get it.
to.
I get it. I wanted to take a moment to talk about something I found on HBO Max. It's a show called Tokyo Vice. And it is a true story about Jake Adelstein, who was an American journalist who went to Tokyo in the 90s to write for the largest paper, one of the largest papers in the world. And he starts writing about the Yakuza and
Oh shit.
gets involved with crooked police and a good cop. And it's a true story. It's from his memoirs. And the first season was absolutely phenomenal. I was sick with COVID and I watched it all in like a day.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it is really good. It is set in the 90s in Tokyo. It's almost entirely in Japanese. It is a mafia crime show. It's produced by Michael Mann, who gave us Heat.
Really?
The first episode's directed by Michael Mann as well. So if you like gritty crime dramas, holy crap, you cannot go wrong with Tokyo Vice.
Tokyo Vice. All right.
Tokyo Vice. You will be very upset with the last episode because it leaves on such a cliffhanger. I'm waiting for the second season.
Gotcha. That's why I'm probably going to hang out after I finish the second series of Picard. I'll probably wait.
Yeah.
To watch the third series
to
all the way
binge the whole
through.
thing. Yeah.
I'll probably jump over to the Picard or the Pike series. I might try and watch Discovery, but I hate being
don't force yourself,
with a hammer.
if you don't like it, you don't like it. You know, it's and that's cool. That's cool. I would be shocked if you don't like Strange New Worlds.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, especially the first episode, and I still think it's tied into the success of our "The Day the Earth Stood Still" episode. Because basically the first episode is the day the Earth stood still, of the Enterprise going to a planet and basically saying, cool your shit down or we will kill you.
Right.
And it's like, whoa.
We're going to have to wipe the planet out. Whoa, Picard. Hold on, Kirk. I mean, Pike.
The only thing that competes against Anson Mount's Captain Pike is his perfect hair. That's all I'm going to say. His hair probably has its own dressing room. I got to meet him briefly at New Orleans at the convention a couple months ago, and yeah, he was a pretty cool dude. And the new Spock, Ethan Peck, is really he's phenomenal. Cool. He's good. But yeah. So you watching anything else?
Just reruns. I don't watch any new TV. I don't watch.
That's what I wanted to tell you. Janine and I have sat down, and every night we watch 2 to 3 episodes of I Love Lucy. We are working our way through the entire catalog on Paramount Plus. Every episode's there. And it's just so good and it's so timeless. It still works. And I recently watched a documentary on Lucy and Desi that Amy Poehler had put together with interviews from Lucy and Desi's daughter. And it was very, very cool to see what those two were responsible for. You can't have Star Trek without talking about Desilu.
Desilu.
Yep.
I mean, say whatever you want about her old man, Ricky Ricardo.
Desi
Arnaz. But the guy was a genius.
He was when it came to that.
At the studio and went, "Yeah, I'm going to buy the studio." I don't know. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Now, what's fascinating about him is just his story. He came from an incredibly rich, wealthy family, part of the Bacardi rum empire. And when Cuba fell, they sought refuge in the U.S. And he ended up cleaning bird cages before he started music and everything else. And
from super rich
to nothing,
super poor,
to having his own studio and everything. And it's just wow. Yeah, say what you will.
Yeah, there's the story. There's the story of him going in to buy the studio, and I forgot what 2 people were talking, but he went in and he told the guy, "This is what I'll give you." And he basically pulled out his checkbook and started writing the guy the check. And the guy's like, whoa, I don't even know who you are. And Desi's like, well, call the bank. So the guy calls the bank. He knew like this guy was big enough to know who all the bankers, of course, were in Hollywood. So he calls whatever bank they were dealing with. He says, who is this freaking guy? He comes in here. I can barely understand a word out of his mouth. He goes, who are you talking about? He says, some guy named Desi Arnaz. He goes, wait, Desi Arnaz is giving you a check? Yeah, he wants to buy the studio. Take it. The man is good for anything he tells you. The guy just looked at the phone, hung it up, walked back, took the check, deal made.
Damn. Yeah, it's pretty amazing what those two had created, and they weren't together but like 11 years or something like that. So they didn't have a long time together, but they continued working together after they split, which was amazing. And
they just kind of had to.
Yeah, yeah, but you know what? They stayed friends for the most part. It wasn't super nasty. It didn't seem to be. So
no, I think even the really kids I've seen them in interviews where the kids were even like, yeah, that's, we wanted our parents to get back together, but that wasn't going to happen.
No,
he'd go over to the house and hang out and vice versa, but not.
Yeah, it's a cool story. So again, you can't have Star Trek without Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz.
No, you cannot.
A lot of shows.
It's almost like fate.
It was like fate. It was like fate. So that's what I've been pouring through those episodes until I get to the end. But other than that, cool. Anything else?
No, we watched the old Barney Miller series.
Oh, you were telling me that. Yeah.
That's on Amazon. I recommend Barney Miller. Anybody who wants to know how to write stories, there's a couple of series I would recommend. Barney Miller. It is solid from the first episode to the last episode. There is not, I swear to God, I do not believe that there is a bad Barney Miller episode.
Oh, wow. I haven't watched
There are ones that I think you may like more than others. Yeah. There are some that you may like more than others, but there's not a bad one. I would recommend Mary Tyler Moore because it's always very fun to see how things have changed. I do want to go
try and find all the Carol Burnett shows.
The Carol Burnett shows for comedy, you cannot beat the Carol Burnett shows, especially but when Tim Conway and Harvey Korman finally show up to be regulars. That's a whole. It was already funny, but it's a whole new world when those two show up.
It's wonderful.
But two series that I would recommend to watch if you want to learn how to tell a story. One is a British comedy called Last of the Summer Wine.
Mm-hmm.
Barney Miller. Two completely different things, but
I'm watching the universe tear behind you. It's wonderful. She's awesome. She's awesome.
A good girl.
Well, folks, thanks for bearing with us today as we just talk and ramble about stuff that you've probably already seen or haven't. So yes, David finally watched Picard and didn't hate it. Awesome. Check out Last of Us on HBO, Tokyo Vice, Lucy, Barney Miller, and The Last of the Summer Wine. We have very varied taste here on Old Ass Movie Reviews. And thanks again for joining us, and thanks for being there. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the share, and we will catch you next week.
Cheers.